can get fresh with us. Get fresh with us.
Figures of action here, and today we're taking a look at the new Mezco 112 Red Skull action figure from Mezco.
What?
I had thought about pre-ordering this from freshfigures.com, and I hesitated and I waited and I wasn't sure, and then when I started seeing pictures online and I had decided that I wanted to get one, the pre-order had sold out. So I had to get it from Amazon. I would have preferred to get it from Fresh Figures, but this is a pretty popular character, and just about every place online is sold out now. So good luck. We'll start with a look at the packaging. It's got the nice Hydra logo there on the front and on the sides. And then on the back, there's a couple of pictures of what's included with the figure.
Oh, I was going to say that. Well, alright.
You slip this off, and it's got a nice half Hydra logo there on the back.
It's magical.
Again, with the Hydra logo on the sides.
It's a little bit shiny.
And then all the figure stuff was located here. It doesn't have that fifth panel window box like the Punisher and Captain America did. This is more of the style of the Deadpool figure, if you have one of those, where the box just slides out of the slipcover. So there's that.
And maybe, and also Punisher, if you have one. If you have one Troll Punisher, it also does the same thing.
Yeah, the Punisher figure was a little different. So here's a look at the Red Skull figure out of the package, and this is the way that he was in the package. There he is on a stand with all his stuff, so you can get a better look at that. And we'll start going through that here in just a second. We'll start with a closer look at the figure, though. He's got all of the standard articulation that you see in the 112 figures. Now, he seems to be built a little bit smaller than the other ones that I have. The Deadpool and Punisher and Commander Rogers. He doesn't seem to be as big or beefy as the other figures. He seems to be a little bit slimmer, and we'll get to that in a minute. He does have a very nice, very well detailed fake leather coat with the Hydra logo there on the sleeve. He's got a belt with a nice Hydra buckle that is removable. It's got his gun, and it's got a strap that goes across his chest in the back as well. So the accessories that he came with the stand, and he came with the arm in a 112 bag to put the little stuff in. Came with the alternate head. He came with a hand to hold the Tesseract, a trigger finger hand for the Luger he comes with, the Tesseract, the Luger, and a holding hand. It's a hand with a space in it to be able to hang on to something, and so is this one. I think he was packaged with the hands that are fists, which are the ones he has on right now. There's a very slight difference in these two. One is a little bit more closed than the other, but they're both for holding things. The Luger can fit in both of those hands. It fits a little better into one than the other one. The thing that I don't understand is, and help me out here if you know in the comments below, why are the Luger trigger finger hand and the Tesseract holding hand on the same side of the figure. It's like it would be hard for him to hold the Tesseract and the Luger at the same time. Maybe there's a reason for that, maybe not. Maybe I'm missing something. I would have liked it if he could have had the Luger in one hand and the Tesseract in the other. He can, but it doesn't make sense now because the Luger's on this side. So if you have the Luger in this hand and the Tesseract in this hand, it's just, I don't know. So the coat is removable. Not pictured on the back of the package, but it does picture this coming off. The gun belt. What did they call it? They called it something. Oh, it's on the sleeve now. Never mind. Okay, so you can take the gun belt off. There is a little snap here. And if you pop the head off,
It looks gorgeous.
you can work this over the neck. And remove it. Now, the reason I think that they did that is because the coat is also removable. It's Velcroed here at the top, but not any place else. And it does come off pretty easily. Put the arms back a little bit and just kind of work the coat off. It also comes off a lot easier if you pop the hands off first. I'd messed around with this a little bit yesterday, trying different things here. So you can get the coat off of there, and then put the hands and the head back on, but also you can put the gun belt back on. So we'll do that part first, since it's going to be harder to do after we put all the other stuff back on. So we'll put this on. And there's actually, there's a peg here, but there's actually two different holes on the other side of the gun. So if you were going to have him without the coat, you can actually peg this a little tighter, if I can do it. I'm trying to be careful with the figure and not hit the camera. So, oh, and see what I'm doing as well. So, not super easy. What is super easy is putting it in the second one, which is the one more for the coat. If you do put it in the second one, you can let the gun sit a little lower there, this waist. So it's pretty good like that too. So we'll get the head back on, give him a couple of hands. This was much easier when I was doing it without the camera. And there's the Red Skull without the coat. Let's get this going. And you can get the coat back on with the strap underneath. Now the gun belt does kind of get in the way a little bit. The coat either sticks out real far on one side, or you kind of put this part back behind the holster. I messed around with it a little bit yesterday. There's some pictures over on my Instagram of that. The shirt that he's wearing has some nice gray lines on it and some little elbow pads as well. So it's not just plain black. There's a pattern to the shirt, but not the pants. And like I was saying earlier, there's he's a little smaller, I think, in build than these other guys. I think it's because of the coat. I think him wearing the coat, he definitely looks bigger with the coat on, but when you take it off, he definitely looks smaller. And I think the reason that he's smaller is because of the coat. These other Marvel guys that I have, they seem to be built a little thicker, a little more muscular, I guess. Or maybe he is the same size. He certainly looks smaller in hand. Like the legs look smaller and the arms look smaller. The chest isn't as big. Maybe that's an illusion. Maybe that's not really the case. But to me, he definitely looks smaller than some of these other guys with the coat off. But maybe that's a trick of the coat. He's got the Mezco ball peg head joint there, and then the neck articulation as well. He's got the ball hinge shoulders, but there's also a butterfly joint in there as well. He's got the bicep swivel. Double hinged elbows. He's got that peg, that ball peg there for the wrists, which actually gives a really good amount of articulation. There on the hands, he's got the diaphragm joint and the waist joint. It's not an ab crunch. He's got the I haven't done one of these in a while. He's got the ball hinge hips, the upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees. He's got a swivel at the top of the boot, and he's got a slight ankle pivot. So he's got the same articulation as the other Mezco figures that I have. And he's very well done. This guy easily blows all of the Marvel Legends Red Skull figures that I have away. Just amazing, fantastic sculpt on the head and the accessories. Really more than I expected with this figure. He looked kind of puffy, I thought, in the coat, in the promotional images, but in hand he doesn't look quite as puffy. You can do a lot with the figure, with the coat on or off, depending on how you like the look. I just don't get the part where the Tesseract goes in the hand on the same side that the gun belt and the gun hand is. I wish that they had put the Tesseract hand on the other side. That's the only gripe I have with this figure. I just wish he could hold the gun in one hand and the Tesseract in the other, but with the gun belt on this side. And the Luger does fit in there. I forgot to show y'all this. Not only does the Luger fit in there, it's got this nice little buckle too. So that's pretty nice. And then the Luger fits right in there. It is a little tricky, but it will fit in there. It's just hard because the gun doesn't sit real low when the arm gets in the way a little bit. So those look pretty good with it. Let's see if we get in with the Tesseract. I don't think that's all the way on. I'm going to get that satisfying little pop out of it. And he does look good holding it. It's really catching light here on the camera, but in person it's opaque. It's not a clear blue cube like the Marvel Legends one that came with the Mandroid Wave Red Skull. The light does happen to be catching it really, really nice here on the video camera. In person, it looks a little dull blue and opaque. I'm still glad that they included it though. It's pretty fantastic. One thing that I didn't show y'all is awesome Hydra base. I'm sure you can see it there, but pretty cool. Well, that has been almost everything I can think of to tell you about the new Red Skull figure. So we can get a look at how tall the guy is. Let's see how we're going to do this. Scoot this stuff over. And leave him on the stand so he can stand up on his own. And you want to get the ruler behind him or next to him, or where did you go? All right,
You know, to do my thing.
you want to see how tall he is?
Yes. Yes, I do.
You hold the ruler or the figure, or?
I want to hold the ruler.
All right,
You hold the
let's see.
bottom of it, and I'll measure.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's see.
6 inches.
Yep, that's usually what the Mezco figures are. They're usually right at 6 inches. They're real close to it. All right. Well, that's been everything that I can think of. Did you have anything that you'd like to add?
Subscribe, like, and leave a comment below. And I wanted to show you 2 of my things real quick. So one I made in this app called Hopscotch. I think that's how you pronounce it. And I made this thing where I spin something and it goes up, and then I can spin this one down only. And when you spin it down the first time, it turns purple.
We'll have to take a look at that later. All
And
right.
this is also my kitty that I made. Her name's Bun Bun. She also has a blue body.
She's very nice. All right. Thanks for watching.